Live 5 News starts now with a First Alert Severe Weather Alert.
We start right now with this severe weather alert. Much of the area under a tornado watch. Live team coverage begins right now. Alexis Simmons live downtown where the heavy rain and flooding has caused some roads to close already. And our First Alert weather team is working hard tracking the storms. First, our chief meteorologist Bill Waltz. Bill, that tornado watch will continue through the night.
Yeah, right up until about 11 o'clock tonight, Bill. We're continuing to watch that. We gave you the first alert to that on our app just a little while ago with our videos, and certainly on Twitter and Facebook. You can see the trend is to the northeast from the southwest with these big showers and the thunderstorms. Let me take you right down to the street level. We were looking back downtown, had a lot of rain earlier. This is the way it looked, caused all the flooding we're going to talk about in a few minutes. That now is pushed off to the north and east, so we are drying out in downtown. How much rain has fallen here in just this one wave of showers? Look at this, 3.2 according to our First Alert Super Doppler estimates. Back on over to parts of Mount Pleasant, downtown, a little less down south of the city, almost an inch and a half. That's a lot of rain over a short period of time. That's why we saw all of that flooding that we saw downtown. Let me take you up toward Georgetown. Again, showers and thunderstorms to the north and west of the city. Be on the lookout for that between St. Andrews and Pleasant Hill. We're looking at some moderate to heavy rainfall there. And down here along the south coast, just south of Walterboro, we're watching this heading up toward, say, 321 and along just south of Estill and back along the Savannah River. All that will continue to push to the north and east as well. As we zoom on out, there's more behind that, and the energy that's kind of rotating around that upper low. That's why this watch was put into place just a little while ago, the one we gave you the first alert to, until 11 o'clock tonight, tornado watch. Even a flash flood watch as well continues till midnight. So both of these will kind of have you on weather alert status here as we move on into the evening hours. To the threat board we go. Each and every time we have a weather threat. Thunderstorm threat's pretty high for this evening and into tonight, about an 8 out of 10. Hail, kind of a middle of the road. We had a little bit of pea-sized hail, but the temperatures aloft we're watching. Can't rule it out. Tornado threat's low, but not zero. It's at about a 2 between now and midnight. More on that coming up right here in a few minutes as we continue to track it right here and on the app. Download it. It's free. It's First Alert Weather. Back to you.
Thank you, Bill. Right now, a live look over downtown Charleston where several streets are already closed because of flooding. Alexis Simmons live on Hugie Street right now. Alexis, what does it look like where you are there on Hugie?
Well, Bill, right now this road is closed because it's quite difficult to get through. Now, earlier today we actually did see some trucks coming through, and I would not advise that one bit because you can't tell how deep this water is until you either see someone go through it or you walk through it. Now, earlier today there was actually someone who rode their bike through that water as well, and I will tell you that water appeared to be about 2 feet high, and that the tip of the tire was the only part that was showing at that point. But like I said, these road closed barriers are across downtown Charleston. I'll advise you to turn around if you face it. Now, as I mentioned, those trucks were able to get through, but there's actually a car right behind where our camera is now. You can hear that loud noise because a tow truck has actually come because that car was in this water. A big truck came by and it hit the side of that car, and then now it is not functioning at this point. But I will be around different areas of downtown Charleston giving you a look at this flooding downtown. High tide isn't until 6:45 tonight, so we could actually expect things to get worse.
And just into the First Alert Desk, state troopers tell us they are responding to some sort of a wreck, some sort of an incident involving a school bus in Berkeley County. We're told it's between a car and a school bus near J.K. Gordine Elementary School, that is out in Pineville. We'll give you more details once we learn anything new. No word on if there were any students on board that school bus at the time, what school it was coming from at the end of the school day, nor what school district it belonged to. But of course, once we learn any new details, we'll pass them along to you here at the First Alert Desk. And you just saw Alexis outside in the water, standing in that rainfall. So we do have quite a few closures to talk about this afternoon. If you're traveling downtown, you want to avoid these areas. Rutledge Avenue closed between Calhoun and Bennett this afternoon. Slow speeds there because of that closure. Actually, also closed Ashley Avenue at Fishburne Street. So another one, quite a few spots really are not able to get through. You can see the red here on the screen because of these closures. And moving up the road here, you can actually on 26
we also have an accident, probably because of the rainfall. Not a good day to ride on the roadways, of course. Unfortunately, 2 right lanes closed due to an accident. Once again, 26 westbound. This is exit 219, right at 219, actually, A and B. So those exits, we do have 2 lanes closed on 26 westbound. That's causing slow speeds, definitely some backup. Further up the road, also on 26 westbound, exit 217, another incident here, but not causing issues. Really no backup because of that one. Definitely take it easy if you're driving on the roadways this afternoon. Still seeing a breakdown. Right lane has been closed on 526 westbound for quite a few hours, actually, towards exit 20. That's the Virginia Avenue exit. Drive safely, Bill.
Thank you, Stephanie. Right now, police continuing to make raids in connection with an attack at pop concert in Manchester, England. In the last few hours, police have identified the suicide bomber as 22-year-old Salman Abedi. Police say he was on their radar before the attack. Another person in custody, but the identity of that person has not yet been released. 22 people killed in that attack, another 59 injured. ISIS has claimed responsibility, but U.S. officials say they have found no connection, at least not as of yet. Right now, Charleston police need your help finding the person who sexually assaulted a woman in a quiet West Ashley neighborhood. Police say the unknown suspect broke into a home in the old Windermere neighborhood. This was yesterday morning. That's just down from the St. Andrews School of Math and Science. Michael Higdon live in the control room with the latest. Michael?
Well, Bill, neighbors I spoke with say they are absolutely in shock. Many of them did not sleep last night because police are still looking for that suspect. Now, this house is right on Chadwick Drive, which is just off of Savannah Highway in West Ashley. And what we know right now, this home invasion and sexual assault all took place between 2:30 and 4 o'clock early Monday morning. The victim involved in this, she was asleep, but woke up by a strange man in her home who attacked her. During the crime, the woman was sexually assaulted. Now, since then, detectives have searched the scene and swept the neighborhood looking for evidence. Patrols have also been increased in that area, but police say they need your help in solving this crime. If you saw anything suspicious or out of the ordinary, you're asked to call the Charleston Police or Crime Stoppers at the number you see right there on your screen. Like I said, I spoke with neighbors who say they are absolutely shocked that this happened in their area. You'll hear more from them coming up on Live 5 News at 6 o'clock. For now, live in the control room, I'm Michael Higdon, Live 5 News.
All right, Michael, thank you. Good job. New at 4. We now know the name of the man charged with shooting 2 people in Goose Creek. Berkeley County deputies say the man is George Merritt. George Merritt, they say he shot at 2 children and their grandparents. Here he is. After an argument about the kids being noisy when they played, police say he did the shots because he was concerned about the noise from the kids. It happened yesterday afternoon on Gator Drive. That's near Howe Hall Road. The 2 adults, the grandparents who were wounded, are expected to be okay. Merritt being charged with 4 counts of attempted murder. This man facing charges after a child was found unconscious and alone in a hot car in Mount Pleasant Sunday. Police say Clark Riggins left the child alone in the car at Waterfront Park underneath the Ravenel Bridge. Police had to break the car window to get the child out. The child was taken to a hospital and is expected to be okay, thank goodness. Riggins released on a $5,000 bond. In the last couple of hours, a demand for a life sentence for former North Charleston police officer Michael Slager. That demand being made by an organization called Black Lawyers for Justice. Slager pleaded guilty earlier this month to depriving Walter Scott of his civil rights when he shot and killed him during a traffic stop in April of 2015. Police reporter Harv Jacobs live at the federal courthouse in downtown Charleston right now. Harv, these folks fear Slager will get a light sentence. They're worried about that.
Yeah, Bill, this is the courthouse behind where Michael Slager pleaded guilty back on May 2nd. Slager actually, he could get anywhere from probation to life in prison for the Walter Scott crime. He pleaded guilty to the most serious charges, you said, the violation of Scott's civil rights. In exchange, the state murder charge against Slager was dismissed. Malik Shabazz, who's president of Black Lawyers for Justice, organized today's press conference. Shabazz was joined by the national chairman for the new Black Panthers Party. Both said anything short of a life sentence for Slager will not cut it.
Michael Slager cannot be forgiven, and he is not forgiven, and he should not be forgiven for the cold-blooded, intentional, ruthless murder of Walter Scott and shooting him in the back.
The sentencing date for Slager has not been set. That will happen after the federal judge hearing the case gets a pre-sentencing report. I should say I did reach out to Slager's attorney, Andy Savage, for a comment this afternoon. He declined. Live at the federal courthouse in downtown Charleston, Harv Jacobs, Live 5 News.
All right, Harv, thank you. Right now in the State House, no answer on whether a judge will remove a solicitor from a corruption investigation. So far, 4 state lawmakers have been indicted on ethics violations, the latest being Rick Quinn from Lexington County up near Columbia. Ashley Holland live at the Richland County Courthouse right now, where Quinn was granted bond after being accused of misusing millions of dollars. Ashley?
Earlier this morning, the judge did grant a PR bond of $50,000 to Representative Rick Quinn, a Republican from Lexington County. But there is a hearing still underway. It just recessed while they wait on a couple more witnesses here. But that hearing now is over whether the solicitor, David Pasco, will be disqualified from his job. That's the prosecutor behind Quinn's charges and the charges of 3 other lawmakers. Quinn now is accused of not reporting $4.5 million paid to his family business and using that money to be influenced in his votes in the State House. He spoke with us today. He claims he is innocent. He says he's done nothing wrong, and instead he says that Solicitor David Pasco has acted in a conflict of interest and should be removed from further prosecuting in this State House corruption probe. But Solicitor Pasco repeatedly told the judge in court today, and as the defense was questioning several SLED agents on the witness stand today, that he believes they are fishing for a conflict of interest and that it is not there. But at this point, court has recessed. They are waiting on a couple of more witnesses, and we're going to keep following this to see how things turn out. Live now from the Richland County Courthouse in Columbia, I'm Ashley Holland for the Raycom News Network.
What's coming up? Women working to close the gender gap in a male-dominated field. A look at how ladies are breaking into the video game industry. Stay with us. All right, this update on news we brought you with First Alert Desk. The Berkeley County School District says nobody was hurt in that school bus accident. That's according to the district. They say a car ran into the back of the school bus on Highway 45 near St. Stephen in Berkeley County. Again, the good news is no children were hurt. We're on your side this afternoon. Right now, women make up nearly half the workforce, and more women are graduating from college than men. But only about 24% of those women work in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Jessica Sanchez shows us how some women are closing the gender gap in the video game industry.
Growing up, it wasn't enough for these 2 gaming grad students just to play video games.
Working in the video game field has been a dream of mine.
I wanted to do new things. I wanted to do exciting things. I wanted to be creative.
That creativity drove Suman, Casey, and their team to invent a video game controlled by your eye.
Something that no one in our program had done before.
They are both also preparing to enter a male-dominated industry. In 2009, women made up only 11% of the professionals working in the gaming world. Now that number has doubled to 22%.
A good portion of gamers are women, and so not only that, but it's just an exciting field. I don't see why women wouldn't want to join.
Unfortunately, this jump in women employment is not happening in other related jobs. The engineering field is only comprised of 14% women and has been stuck there since 2000.
As gaming keeps moving toward the forefront of technology, more people of all sort of demographics are going to want to come and join and be a part of this.
Their advice to young girls: ignore the naysayers.
It's not just like art designers and programmers either. Women can do anything in the game industry. You kind of just have to take that chance and go for it.
You have to put yourself out there. It will always pay off either you win or fail, because when you fail, you learn something, and when you win, that's just another step forward.
According to Payscale.com, the median salary for an entry-level game designer is around $50,000. Another step forward in breaking the glass ceiling. I'm Jessica Sanchez reporting.
Women currently make up 31% of the students enrolled in college gaming programs all around the country.
Now, your First Alert forecast from Live 5 News.
And has been quite a day already for your Tuesday. Waking up late last night with those storms, also this morning with rain, and we're seeing it again. You probably know if you were out driving, and it's some heavy rain pushing through the low country. As of right now, Live Super Doppler Max actually showing some improvement. You can see some dry air moving on in, so some areas saw some rainfall earlier on. What about totals? Downtown actually over an inch of rainfall for you. Some areas even higher with these accumulations. You can see towards Somerville also close to 1.5 inches, so decent rainfall totals. Let's talk about south, moving towards Georgia. We're showing you this right now because this area of energy will eventually move closer into the low country later on this evening, and this is where our next batch of storms are actually coming from. You can see that lightning associated with it right now. We're expecting this to move on into the low country through the evening hours. So even though we're drying out right now temporarily, still a decent chance of seeing storms and showers for the rest of the evening. Now let's talk about what's going on here. Tornado watch until 11 p.m. You can see the yellow highlighted counties here, so we're still expecting the possibility of some severe weather pushing on into the area throughout the evening, and also definitely some thunderstorm activity. And within those storms, we could see some gusty winds, so watch out for that. Because of this, we're putting that thunderstorm potential 8 out of 10, so a decent chance we're going to see those gusty storms really for the rest of the day, off and on. Hail, not so much, about 5 out of 10. Could see a bit of hail within some storms. We'll keep an eye on that. And tornado threat as of right now, 2 out of 10. So that's pretty low. Once again, timing of this will be now throughout midnight. So even though we're drying out right now, in some areas, showers will move back in. And you can really see that here. Just about an hour ago, I couldn't see much out of this camera looking towards the Ravenel. So things have cleared up, like we said. Clouds still off in the distance, though, so be on alert through the afternoon and evening. 74 degrees right now. Temperatures haven't moved around that much because of the cloud coverage and rain, of course. Really in the 70s all throughout the low country. Not a lot of heat, but definitely muggy. You can feel that moisture in the atmosphere. Future tracker, next few hours, you can see those storms and showers from the south moving on in to the low country here, pausing at 9 p.m. We could still see some of those storms lift to the northeast here. So really, if you have outdoor plans tonight, I'd just take them inside. Definitely just stay safe there. After midnight this evening, those storms will move off the coast. And yes, tomorrow, more showers and storms expected, so we're not done yet. Let's talk about it next 3 days with that forecast. Temperatures staying just below average here. We're in the low 80s even through Thursday. We're finally kicking this storm system out of the area Thursday morning. Pretty nice by Thursday afternoon, actually. And Friday, dry and sunny, but the heat, that will return again. You can see Friday, we're in the mid 80s. We'll talk about that holiday weekend forecast with our chief meteorologist, Bill Walsh, coming up at 5 p.m. Now let's check out those roads this afternoon. Still talking about some closures here. On the map behind me, First Alert Traffic alerting you to those. Most of this is downtown. You can probably guess that yourself, but luckily things are drying out right now, like we said, so at least we're not seeing the heavy rain coming down as of right now. Rutledge Avenue still closed between Calhoun and Bennett this afternoon, so keep that in mind if that's your destination. You're going to run in to some closed roads downtown. Also Ashley Avenue at Fishburne Street. We're seeing that closure with slow speeds. Now this is an accident on 26 westbound. We actually have 2 right lanes closed. If you want more information on this accident, have it on my Twitter, also our traffic Twitter this afternoon. Definitely check that one out for more closures. Drive safely.
A new study finds 20,000 American children and teens go to the emergency room each year for gun-related injuries. That study done by the Children's National Health System. They also found that 40% of all parents do not believe their children know where they keep their guns in their home. But researchers say that's not the case. The kids know where the guns are stored. According to gun violence watchdog site gunviolencearchive.org, there have been 12 cases of gun violence against children so far this year, including 3 children shot in North Charleston and 1 of them killed. The most recent was the triple murder in Ruffin in Colleton County that left 3 people dead, including a 13-year-old boy. That same shooting also put a 9-year-old girl in the hospital.
We are hard at work on all of the big stories of the day. Coming up today at 5, an assault at a local sandwich shop caught on camera. We'll take a look at the video and what police say led up to the fight there. A live look over Mount Pleasant, where we're continuing to track the threat of severe weather. Our team coverage of the storm is continuing. We'll see that at 5. And a proposal for the memorial honoring 9 firefighters killed in the Sofa Superstore fire. We'll take a look at the master plan for the monument. These stories and a lot more on Live 5 News at 5. We'll see you then.
James Bond actor Sir Roger Moore died this morning in Switzerland. He'd been fighting cancer. Danielle Nottingham has more.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Roger Moore took over the iconic spy role from Sean Connery in 1972's Live and Let Die. He played James Bond in 7 films over 12 years, longer than any other actor.
Why, flattered you remember.
Moore became a household name playing action hero Simon Templar in the British TV series The Saint. Upon his death in Switzerland, his family says Moore considered his humanitarian work with UNICEF to be his greatest achievement in life. Moore became a Goodwill ambassador for the charity in 1991. He received knighthood from Queen Elizabeth a dozen years later.
Roger Moore!
Long after leaving Hollywood, the debonair actor shared a little of his self-deprecating humor of his time in Tinseltown when he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I got to kiss Lana Turner. I was so good at that, the MGM kissed me goodbye.
Moore went on to author several books about his life and career as cinema's most famous spy. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I remember him from a TV series called Maverick way back when. More on the bad weather from Bill Walsh coming up right here at 5.